Hello, hello. It is December Daily Advent 2024. We're kicking it off today with the release of the new kit. I'm going to give you information about that. This is what I'm going to be doing in today's video. I can't believe after 5 months of putting this together, we're finally releasing it. We are so nervous. I hope you are going to love it as much as we do. So lots to explain. This is just the introduction video. The kit itself, when you purchase the kit, you get the option for 2 download PDFs. One is for US paper size and one is for UK paper size. That in itself was a huge task. It was a logistical nightmare to get this together. So we are offering it in both sizes, and that's quite important for this particular kit. In previous years, the last 4 years, we've created a kit that can be used in a box or as ephemera in a journal. This year is a little bit different. You can still use the ephemera, of course, to make a December daily to fit into a box if that's what you would like to do. But you also have the choice this year to put together individual journals or one large journal. The Christmas kit this year is called a Christmas anthology. And Jay has written 5 amazing magical Christmas stories. And I think they are fabulous. I hope you're going to enjoy them. So what's in the kit? Image-wise, we have split the images into the individual stories. However, they are interchangeable. You don't have to just use the images for the story. There are over 150 image pages in this kit. It's a whopper. It's huge. And on top of that, there are 5 PDF story booklets, which you may or may not decide to use. They do need printing double-sided, and that's quite important. I will show you and explain a little bit about the double-sided printing in a moment. What I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to show you the images from the kit. I have put 6 per page because otherwise we would be here all day. So I'm going to show you that now. So that's the kit, the images. I'm physically going to show you the pages for the booklets and explain how this will work. But you do need to make sure you have downloaded the correct size for your paper. So you do need to download your US or your UK paper size. There are lots of links on the PDF to make it easy for you to organise and save your documents. Okay, so each story has its own links. Once you open your PDF, you will see exactly what I mean. So you also saw there are 2 options for covers on that first page. This is part of the digital image kit. And you've got one here where you can just cut it and actually use that as a cover. There's also one with a spine, which if you're making individual journals, you'll be able to fold over. And there is a contents page. So this is the contents page. So the first story or the first book is Christmas at the Cottage. Then we have The Secret Book at Scissor Lane. Then we have Naughty Clarence, A Christmas Crush, and The Magic Toy Shop. So those are the 5 stories, 5 possible journals or one large anthology, which is how I'm going to be putting mine together this year. I now want to talk a little bit about paper. Like I said, this kit contains PDFs. Now this is what the booklet cover looks like if you print it onto plain copier paper. And like I said, it is double-sided, and you'll see this particular story, page 13, is on the back of page 1. This is Christmas at the Cottage. This one is Naughty Clarence, and Naughty Clarence I have printed on Navigator paper. This is the colour document Navigator paper, and you can see I'm just in the tones. There's not a huge amount of difference. This is just a slightly heavier paper. I'm just going to explain a little bit about printing this. What you need to do, and this is if you're using an Epson, if you're using another printer, your software will be very similar, but you might need to look at your manual or Google it. So you open your PDF document. Just going to get my notes so I know exactly what I need to tell you. So you open the PDF. Now I have to leave my settings at default. I'm going to insert some screenshots for you. I have to leave it at default because if I try and change it to photo paper, it will not print correctly, and I don't know why that is. If you don't want to waste paper and ink, I would leave your settings at default. You need to make sure all pages in range are selected. That's really important. You also want to select scale to fit. You want your image to fit on your paper, and hopefully you've selected the US or UK paper size, so that should be perfect. And then I need to go to printer options. On the printer options, I select two-sided print, which will allow the paper to be pulled back through and print on both sides. And then I need to select short edge binding, which means the short edge is where your fold and your join is going to be. If you do it on your long edge, you're going to end up in a bit of a muddle. Okay, so that is how I print on my Epson double-sided, and you will get something like this. And like I said, I'll show you this on photo paper in a moment, even with the default settings, but this is colour document paper. So page 2 actually has page 17 on it. Page 3 is page 16 and page 1, and it will go through like so. Page 2 and page 15, 14 and 3. And like I said, this is just one story. So what that means is, once you've got your booklet, and then you'll be able to fold it over, and you have a signature with all of the pages of the story in order. Now, obviously, that might not be a big enough signature. One of the stories is a lot bigger than the others. The Magic Toy Shop at the end is a lot longer. There are more pages, so the signatures won't necessarily be the same size. However, there are journal pages in the kit, as you saw, and they are fairly generic. They would work with any of the stories on the whole. So you can print extra pages to go in between your story pages. And then as a freebie on our website, the link will be down below, I think there are 11 backing papers. You can also back your journal pages. So for example, what I might do is take my first journal page and then add a page here. And then in between here, I might add another one, but I might add that way round. And then in here, I might add another one. And then when I fold it, I'm still going to have the story in order with extra pages in between. I also might include some tea-dyed paper or envelopes or whatever I want, but my story is still going to be in order. That is copier paper. This is the colour document paper, and this is how it comes out if I print it onto photo paper. You can see a big difference, but the back, because the back is not photo paper, it is slightly duller, but not quite as dull as this one. You can see the difference between those two there. But the presentation paper is perfectly acceptable. You get a really good print. So that's a little bit about how to put these together. So the stories in order. So this is my first story, A Christmas Cottage, and it's in order. And again, what I've done is I've printed 3 of the journal pages like this, and I have backed them with that freebie that's on the website. So I'm just going to explain how I'm going to put my signatures together to start with. There are 4 pages in this booklet, so I'm going to put a page in here, then I'm going to put a page in here, and I'm going to put a page in here like so. And now this particular booklet, 7 pages in total. So that particular one, I'm going to clip that for now and put that aside. Second story is A Christmas Book at Scissor Lane, and for those CPI fans, this story will not let you down. It's fabulous, and I've already gone ahead and added my pages in this one. So I've added some journal pages. Now this particular book is this is the second longest story, is now 11 pages. So it's 3 pages more than this one. The next story is Naughty Clarence, and this one is 9. So I'm just going to clip that back and put that at the back. Now this one is A Christmas Crush, and this one I'm going to do a little bit differently. This is the shortest story. There are only 3 pages. So this particular image here, I'm actually going to put at the back so it becomes a centre kind of spread, if you like. And then these ones I'm just going to disperse in between my story. And this is now 6 pages. Now this one is the biggest. It's a very, very big story. So I'm just going to, these are my journal pages, and what I'm going to do is possibly miss some of these out. So I'm just going to add some journal pages in between, but I'm not actually going to do every page. So there are 3 that I haven't used. I've got 12 pages in here at the moment. But what I do want to do is make sure I've got some kind of tea-dyed paper in here as well. So I've got 3 pages here. So I didn't put a journal page here, so I'm going to add one here. I'm going to add one here at the beginning, and then in the middle where I've got 2 story pages together, I'm just going to add a piece of music paper. So I now have my final story ready to kind of fold, if you like, and this one is 15 pages long. So let's go back to the Magic Cottage. So this is only 7 pages long. I've got 4 pieces of tea-dyed paper that I'm going to add. It's still not going to make it as big as the other journal, but it's just going to bulk it out and make the signatures a little bit more of a similar size. So I'm just going to add some extra papers into here. I now have all of my signature papers together, and you can see it's going to make a pretty hefty journal. I have purchased a book, and I have got a red one, but this was completely coincidental. So I'm going to use this on my cover, and I'm going to cut my book cover down, and I'm going to cover that, but that will probably not be in this video. It probably will be over a few videos. The most important thing today was explain how to put these together, I think. So as you can see, you could make 5 individual story journals, or you could make one large one. And I'm just going to kind of get one signature prepped. So I'm going to take my clip off for a moment. I'm going to take my pages, and I'm going to grab my paper trimmer, and I'm going to trim the top and bottom off each, but only the top and bottom. once you've trimmed the top and bottom, now what we want to do is make sure we have these in the correct order. So what I'm going to do is just fold this back. So make sure I'm happy with the layout, what I've got in the book. We've got page 1 here, so that's correct. Page 2, so that's correct. Page 3, page 4, page 5, and page 6. So I know my book is in order. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my papers before I trim the edges. So I'm going to fold it with the centre in and fold all of my pages. So that is, again, I'm going to just one more time flick through and make sure all of my pages are how I am happy with them. Yep, that's all good. So now what I'm going to do is grab myself a couple of large paper clips. I'm going to go to the centre of my book and really push as hard as I can to make sure my pages are all flat and square. And I'm just going to pop a paper clip in there and in here. Now, I'm probably not going to be particularly accurate, but I'm okay with that. I've got my cutting mat out. You do need a sharp knife for this, and you do need a metal ruler. Obviously, you could cut your pages individually. If you do that, they are not going to be even along your outer edge. So pushing this down, taking my ruler, and I don't have, not sure I'm going to be able to do this very well on camera, but I'm going to hold my ruler down and I'm just going to do, like I said, sharp knife. I'm just going to do lots of short runs through until I've cut through all of my pages. And it does look a bit scary because you've got lots of image on here. So that's now my first signature pages all done, and we've got a nice flat edge. Now I have got a few little white edges on mine. That's okay, I'm okay with that. I'm going to ink. Like I said, I'm probably not as accurate as you will be right now, but I think that's going to be marvellous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the rest of my signatures, and then I'll come back to show you the signatures together. Oh wow. My signatures are now done. Now I haven't done the best job on them, and I think that's going to be fine. Once we've got tabs and we've got all of our other things in there, these are my signatures all done. It's quite hefty. It's a lot bigger than I was expecting. So I was thinking, this is probably where I'm going to leave it today, but there's just a couple of things that I wanted to mention. So the first is, you could make these in the style of a traveller's notebook journal. So you could make these signatures individual and make some kind of wraparound cover for them. You can make these individual journals and maybe put them into a little box, or my initial plan was to include my signatures into this journal cover. However, you can see that it's already the size of my book. So I could turn this into, rather than a journal, I could turn it into a storybook with just writing space. I'm probably going to expand my spine. I'm still going to use these covers, but I'm going to leave it there. That is basically how you would put the signatures together for this journal if you're making it as one journal. I'm going to have a little think about what I'm going to do, but that's just a few options, you know, using an existing book cover. But that's how I have put my signatures together for my Christmas December daily. So the kit is 40% off right now until the end of November. So if you think you're going to want to join in and play along with the December Daily, now is the time to purchase the kit. The calendar, the link is going to be in the description box. That is now live on the website. So you can go and check it out. Click on the links on each day. It's like an advent calendar. You click on the link, it will open the channel that will be doing a video that day. There are some new ones, so please do subscribe. It just means the world to everybody if you can do that. And then obviously on the day, there will be a video with somebody creating something for their story. They will, it will be a piece of ephemera or something that you can either put in your box or put in your journal if that's what you're doing. So thank you so much. I hope you love the idea of the December Daily this year. I will be back with carrying on with my journal cover. Take care. Bye.